When a child becomes part of the juvenile justice system, in many cases it can be too late to change the course of their life. They can become depressed, not caring about themselves, their family, or their community. Many become parents while still kids themselves, and the cycle continues from one generation to the next. Director of Juvenile Court Service in Warren County, Tennessee, Barry Dishman, decided to investigate the cause.
Hi, welcome to Table Talk. I'm your host, Karen Wilson, and we have a great show for you today. Very informational. I've got Mr. Barry Dishman here and Megan Dishman from Kids of the Community. And you have just seen the beginning of a very moving educational video that was filmed for Kids of the Community. So I'm going to jump right into our questions. Since we've kind of opened up with the video, let's pick up with the inception of Kids of the Community. Barry, this might be a good, since you've been there since the very beginning, what was happening in that time in the community that caused you to think, we've got a need here and this is how to meet that need?
I think probably it goes back to just what I do professionally. I'm the Director of Juvenile Court Services for Warren County, and we saw so many different youth appearing before the court that it was just mind-boggling to me, and I just didn't understand why we'd have the same children there on a regular basis, and then just really tried to sit down and have talks with them and try to work through it just when they were in court, and ask them basically what their life was like, and we found early on that they were just not engaged in a lot of different things. They weren't plugged in, so to speak, to sports or any other just effective leisure time activities, and so that's just kind of how the idea occurred, is let's do something. Mm-hmm. Let's get this started and see, let the children kind of dictate what direction we would take with the program. Mm-hmm. And as needs arose, we just formed our program around them and try to make sure that those needs were met.
So you basically had kids going through the system that, as you could see, obviously didn't have the parental support, but then also did not have the support of friends and family that got them involved in extracurricular activities to kind of keep them out of trouble, I guess. Certainly.
That was a key concept, and we're all different, but I think that one concept, and we've been in business, it's not a fly-by-night, for mm-hmm. sure. I had this child out with me. She's married now. She's a Marttala. And when she was 5, she was out delivering clothes, and I think she probably remembers that. And she actually grew up doing that the entire time. And we did. We just, I think that collectively as a people, I think that our networking abilities kind of define our direction in life. It's like most of the people that go to this college and they're alumni, and so they'll go there and they have an old college friend that might hire their son or daughter later on. And another way of just looking at it, conversely, would be in Carrier. We had a great industry here that was a great job for people that just got out of high school, and you would have a neighbor or somebody, I work at Carrier, I can get him a job, and because you knew those people, that would kind of link you to those things. And I think all of us are kind of defined by what we pull from our particular area that we grow up in, and in our network of people and friends and associates. And it's just like a lot of these children were just kind of tapped out. They're underserved children is mm-hmm. really what they are. And a lot of them have from single parent homes, and their parents are really struggling. They're truly struggling. And so being an older person, I understand how it used to be that somebody would just roll up at your house and take you to ball games and didn't
right.
think anything about the liability or whatever. And now everybody's so afraid of a lawsuit that they just don't lend that helping hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kids of the Community, you guys have been around now going on, is it 25 or 26 years? Mm-hmm. Did you realize what a massive undertaking this was going to be whenever or did it just kind of grow gradually to where it is what it is today?
Interesting question. I think we all, if we're lucky enough, we find our passion in life. And no, I just really wanted to help some children and had absolutely no idea what this was going to entail or how much of my life and my family's life would be taken up by this. And, when we were doing this video back in the summer, at the end of the video, you can see that obviously I've been crying. And they hit me with a question, and I obviously talk for a living, but they was like, why would you do this? And it kind of stumped me for a pretty good while. And then, I was doing a lot of reflection about what they were doing, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do this? Why would you not step forward and help these children? I've had a wonderful life, blessed with 2 amazing children. I've got to do and see a lot of things, and so why can't I share a portion of my time to make things better for other people? And that's basically how this all developed. I didn't know going in by far. I thought at the time that we actually got our physical address, when we got a building over at 681 Cadillac Lane, that we had arrived, and it burst at that point. And then we had a lot of responsibilities to pay for utilities, construction costs through the roof, just all kinds of responsibilities. And insurance is really, really a big thing. So I had no idea at the time. And so the only thing I can say is it's sure been worth it.
Yeah,
Really been worth
growth is good, but as you said, buildings and things like that, you've got to have a home, but it brings on a lot of extra responsibilities. So Megan, you've been a part of Kids of the Community basically almost your whole life. What are some of I know you have impacted a lot of, both of you had a lot of kids over the years. Talk to us about, I guess, the number of kids that you all work with from year to year, and then maybe one of the things that hit you where you thought, yeah, I want to make this my life's passion too. It was my dad's, and now I'm going to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, so every year we have about 220 kids enrolled in the organization. Those vary from year to year, but a lot of them grow up with us essentially. They start when they're 5 and they're there until they're 18. And so we think it's in the neighborhood of about 3,000 kids throughout the 25 years it's been in existence. Like I said, some of them stay in, some of them come and go, just depending on their situation, things like that. But all of the kids, grow up through the program. They go through different things as well. So it's been really just impactful to see that kind of happen. Some of the stories would be one of the most recent ones this summer was some of the kids from the past saw one of our Facebook posts, I think, or they ran into somebody and we were like, hey, we really need some food for the summer. And they were able to bring us food and help out this summer as well, just because they, knew that we had so many good meals for them over the years there, and they just wanted to give back, and they're all doing really good, have good jobs and stuff. So it's just been really great to see them grow up and shine as well. So.
Yeah, so they're paying it forward
Right.
by how they grew up with it and stuff. Now, tell us, I guess, about the impact. We were talking before we went, tape was rolling about how many kids you all feed every day, or at least 5 days a week. Do you provide an afternoon snack, I guess, after school to 200 or so kids, or give or take? Is that correct?
So yeah, our biggest thing is in the summer. When school's out,
Yes.
we do have over 100 kids there every day. So this past summer, we served over 9,000 meals just in between. When school let out in May and then them going back in August. Last week was fall break, so it was, we were serving 3 meals a day for some of the days. So we went on a little trip to Fall Creek Falls with the kids to do some activities over there. So, we served over 500 meals just last week. So there, after school programs, it kind of varies. There's between 30 and 50 kids there on an afternoon, but they all get essentially a dinner while they're there at the building. And then
It's a hot meal.
Yeah,
Right.
if they're there on the weekends, it's breakfast and lunch.
Right.
So.
And I will say, most of these kids have parents that are probably working during the day and things like that. So they're not getting help at home with homework and stuff like that. And that's a valuable resource you all are providing as well. And I'm sure could use lots of help with volunteers on homework help.
We certainly can. Christy Allison wasn't able to come today, but she's helped us extensively with tutoring. She's a lifelong educator and really kind of opened our eyes. And initially when we started, she said that, these kids are struggling. And I think that just collectively, I don't think people understand what a dilemma we're in now with our children and the behaviors that they're seeing that the teachers are having to endure in schools. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is. But I see the behaviors in the children, and I know how much more difficult it is to be an educator and to focus with the kids. And so we're pretty diligent in our efforts. We do read 15 minutes every day. We help them with any work that they have. But I've said it 1,000 times. Education is the one thing that frees you from the binds of where you are at this particular stage in life. And it's easy to say, you need to do this or you need to do that, but it's a lot easier to walk with a child than it is to direct a child. Mm-hmm. They may not follow you, but they'll walk beside you.
Yeah.
And so we've told them what's worked for us, and I say all the time, how successful Megan and Mac have been this far, in life, and they're products of the school system here. And so we have a good educational system. It's just, and it's hard. It's difficult with their parents. Like for me to do today's math is quite, I can give you the answer, but I cannot do the methodology that they use, for the problems. And so we really struggle with volunteers. And I don't know after 25 years how to address that. We need people. If you're sitting at home, I guess, and you're bored and you don't feel like you have a great deal of worth, or nobody needs you, you're just wrong. Kids, the community needs you. We need you to come over. If you want to sit out front and drink coffee and talk to the kids as they come in and ask them how their day was. Mm-hmm. And, hey, son, you dropped your pencil, or don't go outside, or, just kind of be a parent, be a grandparent.
Yeah.
Meg was telling a funny story. My mom helps us extensively. She's 88. And so they call her Granny. Mm-hmm. And they were asking her, could she just be their granny too?
Yeah.
And, it's just things like that. And if somebody has one out of the 5 days that's always loved to cook, come cook. We have a commercial kitchen. A lot of people want to try different things. We have a lot more space and need equipment. Mm-hmm. And so they can come and cook a meal, mm-hmm. And do something to try to share with these children. And we do that. Throughout the summer, she's done Master Chef, and they learn how to cook eggs and cook potatoes, stuff that can sustain them.
They could do at home. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and sometimes social media is good and bad. We see pictures, of maybe events, and there looks like there's all these volunteers helping and stuff. But you said they're kind of not permanent volunteers. They volunteered that time for that day, but you all could use that plus regular volunteers that can come and give whatever time that anybody can.
I think in particular COVID was kind of like a super whammy to people. I think people we all withdrew back into our mm-hmm. collective shells and tried to do some self-protection. And with the advent of COVID, I guess we see our volunteers dropping off. And it's just something that you don't have to be perfect at math. You can listen to a child read. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of things that you can do. And it's really good observation that from our pictures it looks like that we're flush as far as help, but it's lonely there. I mean, seriously, mm-hmm. I think it's probably been a downfall on our part because we're not constantly in the paper. We're not constantly here trying to show it. We're so busy, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, right.
But it's myself, my wife, Meg, Christy Allison. Pam Pesovic has been just a godsend. She moved here from Arizona. She's a nurse out here at River Park, and Pam's been with us about 15 years now. She was with us this mm-hmm. past weekend. Mm-hmm. And then we have Dwayne Wilson, and we have Miss Goof, Melinda Wall, and she pops in whenever she's available, but she's from another county. And that's the extent of our volunteers. If I've forgotten anybody, people have a tendency to look at what we're doing, and it's like a Bridgestone comes up. Bridgestone's been wonderful with the fair for several years, and a lot of people think that Bridgestone's just kind of taking care of that. Bridgestone has been a supporter financially for several years. The people that we have come to the fair just there for that day, and Bridgestone does not pay for the fair that day. It's extremely expensive to take the kids. And sometimes I guess just people see the pictures, as you're saying, and perceive that we're just flush with volunteers, and we're just not. I mean, we're over here struggling. I mean, I can't. We went to Fall Creek Falls. We were there Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and I'm not sure that she slept any, and so what we do is we grow our own. We have children there. We had, I know, 2 of them in particular that have walked all the way through the program, and we use them as summer counselors. And then we had 2 other boys, same difference, that they were there. And, it's kind of like families. The older ones always have to be more responsible for the littles. And so we just kind of utilize the family aspect of our growth and put our children will tell you that we work them to death. They sweep, they mop, and they help cook, they help clean. When you look around, it's just you and them. So sure, I can use can I help you? You sure can.
Yeah.
And they learn skills. They learn
do.
everyday skills. It's just accomplishment skills, and you brag on them. We all need that. We need that recognition, and I think we all just grow as a result of that. But we definitely need volunteers. We've had a lot of, United Way helps us, and we have people that have Tennessee Promise Hours. And that is something that we're a program of its own where people needed to do that work. If somebody was overseeing the program, I'm going to send you to Kids of the Community, I'm going to send you to Meals on Wheels. But what happens is the children normally wait till the last minute to get their 4 hours in, and then I'll have 25 of them there, and I'm like, where have you been for 6 months?
I've needed you all
Yes, and then
year.
there's one of them just demanded that we open up on Sunday so that they could do some hours the other day, and I was like, it just doesn't work that way. We've been here forever. Where have you been?
Well, I know there, is sometimes pushback from those, about helping others and helping others maybe living in poverty that have lived hard lives. But this is all about the kids. It's not about anything political. It's not about whether their parents could do more or do not enough or whatever. It's all about the kids.
Well, I would like to say to all of Warren County, if you think for any moment I have another agenda, you're going to get bored waiting for that to happen. I don't. I love these children. We care about them. We're like a family, I think, to them. We do have a lot of pushback from people, and I would like for all those people that think that their parents need to be more responsible or the kids need to be responsible. Tell me where you can get a job for about 100 9-year-olds. And then I have another 110 10-year-olds. And I've got some 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds. They can't drive. They can't work. They didn't ask to be born. They were kind of thrust into this position in life, and they're living their best life that they possibly can.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is just trying to insert supports that would help them just become the best people they possibly can be. And we don't have a personal agenda, and it's definitely not a financial aspect.
Well, and as you said, they're volunteering themselves. They're there getting taken care of, but they're also taking care of others. Taking care of, they're picking up garbage and doing community work and things like that just by being there.
Yes, they earn their keep. They're responsible for their area. If I walk by and there's a piece of paper there, we're like, that's in your area, you need to pick that up. And so they're accustomed to that. We don't have a lot of trouble with them. I mean, I don't want to say this, I'm always reluctant to say it, but after 25 years we've not had any fist fights, with boys. I must be doing something right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're gonna fight, but I mean, they know their rules, and one thing that they know that there's consequences with us, and so they have to keep their behavior in check or they don't get to come. And so we make them, like you said, we make them earn their keep. If you're ever there and all that activity is going on, people, like some of the girls, like, they're 17, 18 or whatever, and they think they're volunteers, but I mean, they've grown up there.
Yeah. But they're paying it forward too.
Oh, yes.
They're there volunteering, helping with the younger ones and things like that. And that was kind of what my next question was about the bonds the kids form with one another. I mean, these are like, this could be a kid that's being mistreated in school or neglected at home or what, but they're getting support through each other too. And through you all.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, like, it's kind of like a sports team, you know, and in a way, like, a lot of the kids don't get to play sports, right? You grow up with those kids. You're playing ball together every weekend, having practice. It's the same thing. Like, we have them at the building every afternoon. We go on trips together. You know, they are learning skills together. They're doing teamwork stuff. They're doing their homework, you know, so it really does become like a family. And they, like you said, they are able to, like, relate to each other. You know, maybe their dads are both incarcerated and they have that to talk about. They have somebody to lean on and, you know, understand what they're going through. So I think it's a lifelong thing for them, between not only like them and the other kids, but them and the volunteers or the workers. Like, I'll walk in places all the time and it's some kid that's now grown up. It makes me feel so old, you know, and they're like, Miss Megan. And I'm like, oh, what's your name? What's your name? You know, finally it'll come to me and they're like, I'm doing so good, like I'm in cosmetology school, or, you know, they'll tell me about like what they're doing. So it's like, it really is like forever.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I guess, you know, not only you all need volunteers as always, but then how is Kids of the Community funded?
I think the only way I know to describe it is by the grace of God. I have no idea how it works. I'm not a financial wizard for sure, but we have a couple of key people that without them we'd have to close. I mean, honestly, we've got 3 people right now and they know who they are, and we thank you. And we have a gentleman that pays our electric bill and our utilities, and without that, I mean, we just couldn't exist. And we have 2 others that are just absolutely incredible. We have an operating budget of somewhere about $140,000 a year. Our insurance is incredible. We're running 4 vans. We pick the kids up, deal with them all the time, take them back. As you say, that's the only way schools ever worked. If you think about it, we would only have 10% of the population educated if we're dependent upon parents, and that's why public education, everyone. So we followed the same guidelines, and we go pick them up and take them home just like the school does, and it's been way more effective to do that. Unfortunately, that comes at a great cost and with great liability and cost of vehicles to keep going. Fuel, you know, we just had some gifts from God that have just literally just walked in, and then the widow's mite, you know, she may only have $10 that she's given, but oh my goodness, you know, I know a lady that for some reason I sent her I ran into her at the fair and she gave me some money, and so I gave it on to a child and sent her a picture of it, you know, just to let her know that child, you know, had a better day. And so that money meant just as much as a corporate grant, you know. And a lot of the things people are always saying, why don't you write a grant? They've obviously never written one.
Yeah,
You
they're
talk
not
about
easy
some grief.
to do, right?
Yes. It's complicated. One thing in particular, I don't know where it came from, but they don't want us to hire any employees. If you can I can get grant monies. I've had 30 years experience now writing them. And I can get monies, but mostly you get wonderful programs, sounds great videos, everything. Sorry, can't help you. We'll give you this grant, but none of this can be used toward administrative cost.
Right.
Well, if you can't, Bridgestone, you know, it's multi-million-dollar expansion out there. If they handed Bridgestone to the 3 of us tomorrow and said, you can run it, but I can't pay you anything, and how long could we do that?
Right.
Us 3 couldn't run Bridgestone.
Right.
You have to have the worker bees there to, you know, and it is. It's the end product that we're looking at. We're looking at a more successful person, but I have to have people there to help them. You know, I have a full-time job. She has a full-time job. We just do this because we don't have an off button. You know.
Well, I know even students, as you get through the high school years, they're looking to be employed. And if you can just even like, hey, pay them a little something for their gas money and things like that, hey, they're going to cook for this week or whatever. But it's a big help to them to be able to pay them sometimes a little bit.
We all need
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
fair money, right? I mean, you got to have something along the lines. But we adore our children. We love them. I think that overall, it's really going to be something that is going to be quite impactful. You were talking about a couple of weeks ago, I was asked to come over for a safety summit at the middle school, and it was funny walking in because I remember going in there in the 90s when it was high school or whatever. And if I went to the school, somebody was going to jail, and a lot of the kids knew that. I would come in with officers or investigators or whatever, and we had some drug activity going on in the school, and somebody was going to jail. Well, I go over there for this summit, the other day, and there's 800 kids, I think, and we're talking to all of them. And before I could get in, I had 9 come and hug me.
Yeah.
Instead of running from me, they were running to me.
Yeah.
And then when I actually got up on stage, it was just a great moment for me that if you can envision 800 people there, it just kind of looked like polka dots. I didn't know this one, but I do that one, and
Right.
so on. And it just like we had impacted that entire setting.
And it wasn't that you
And
knew
they're
them through
waving.
the court system.
No,
You knew
by no
them
means.
through
No, we
kids
don't,
of the community.
Yes, we start at 5 now and keep them until they're 18, and so if they go to court, they're not in kids' community anymore. So it does keep them out of there. Our dockets have just really declined and are pretty static right now, and
That's good.
the cases are way, way down from what they were. And it's I'm not trying to toot my own horn. We've really tried to impact the number of people that were coming to juvenile court, and we have. We have.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can see it in the betterment of our county as they get married, have only the number of children they can afford. They're working. We have several proudly serving our country right now that we're incredibly proud of. They aspire to be just better people. And we all needed that encouragement as young people toward moving toward those goals. Proverbs tells us, that people without vision will perish. And so I think that somehow, for some reason, we were pushed into that role is that what is the vision for these children in this county, and how can we better assist them with their lives? And that's been our vision.
Yeah. Well, we'll say the video that you're seeing and then the one that's going to play at the conclusion of the show. Now, you all did not pay for that, but you were blessed to have a group that volunteered to do that. Tell us about how that transpired.
Well, we had someone that helps out from time to time, and he had some friends that have been making videos their entire lives, so they came and spent a lot of time with us this summer and just filmed our daily activities, and we were blessed just to have them in the building, and they went on adventures with us, came kayaking, they did all kinds of stuff, and then they put the video together totally free. They were volunteers for us, basically. So
Yeah, and that's very time consuming.
Yes.
We know about videos here, so all of
It
that.
was all summer.
Yeah.
About 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
They were as wet as
Yeah.
we were, and ate with us, and they were just great people. And the kids, they introduced them to all the equipment and the mics and everything. The kids were just fascinated with it all. Had a drone, and they were just wonderful people.
They were.
Just incredible people. We'll forever be thankful to them for taking their time to do that. We could have never paid for any video.
no.
I mean, that's where we are. I mean, we struggle, and when I say we, all nonprofits in Warren County struggle, and I don't know when that's going to change. We don't have the financial base here that they have in Rutherford County, to pull in the funds that we need.
Right.
So not only us, but all the other nonprofits struggle.
Right.
They struggle.
Well, I'm sure, and everybody has their one that they love, but I will challenge our audience. We want to see kids of the community going on for another 25 years, and hopefully at some point you'll want to retire, and Megan will have kids and all kinds of things, and we need other people to pick up the torch and carry it on and be there for our kids. So thank you both for everything that you're doing for our kids. It's been a lifelong passion, I know, for you, and praises to you for passing it along to your kids. And as I said, if you can give your time, if you can't give your time, maybe give an extra few cents that you have, or whatever you can do to help with these lunches, with the after-school programs. I know you all do a Bible thing in the summertime to try to give them that side that they may not get at home. So we just challenge our audience to help out as much as possible. And I'd like to thank our audience for joining us today. We're going to watch the video at the conclusion of the show, but come back again next week for more Table Talk.
Thank you.
When a child becomes part of the juvenile justice system, in many cases it can be too late to change the course of their life. They can become depressed, not caring about themselves, their family, or their community. Many become parents while still kids themselves, and the cycle continues from one generation to the next. Director of Juvenile Court Service in Warren County, Tennessee, Barry Dishman, decided to investigate the cause of this problem.
We would have the same grouping of children present in court, come to the podium. You could barely see their head over the podium. They were so young. And I would start having a conversation with them. Well, why did you do this? They wouldn't have anything to say.
Very often, if a parent has been incarcerated and gone into the prison system, this puts the children and the family at risk to also getting in trouble with the law. And sometimes you see whole generations of families, one after another, entering the judicial system and going into jail or prison. So it can become a kind of a vicious cycle.
We've been besieged with drug problems and apathy towards schoolwork, and 3 and 4 generations of people that have been on government systems that were not providing a future for their children.
You know, we have a birthing tree out here that's just absolutely enormous and has been there for hundreds of years. And you think about the strength of that tree. And then if you'll take a moment to consider the roots of that tree, it's spread out all around that little area. So conversely, if you raise your children up in a box this size, they're not going to develop the root system that they need to expand into the possibility of the best individual that they can be, because they're confined to how they're allowed to grow. They're just in the local housing authority or assisted living. So they don't have the opportunity for expansion, I think, that most children do. We just decided to do something. You know, if they didn't have anything that they were involved in, we decided to do something. And so what did we do? Well, let's just get them together as a group. We'll have some sandwiches, some drinks or whatever. We started out actually just meeting at Riverfront Park and playing volleyball. It was free, didn't require a lot of equipment. And then we just talked with them, you know, and we would play till they were tired. And as we were sitting around, we just started developing relationships.
This was the beginning of Kids of the Community, an outreach program for at-risk children that offers an extended family, new friends, organized activities, meals, homework help, and the guidance needed to help the children create better lives for themselves.
Without this place, I would probably be struggling, living with other people and having be in a lot of trouble, just financially and trouble. Because this place gives me somewhere to go to distract my mind and to keep me on the right path of where I want to do and what I want to be when I get older.
I started here when I was 5, but I was practically here when I was little, like a baby, because my older brother and sister wasn't here, so I was always here with them. It was a great thing for me when I was little, because me being around all these kids, they were really active and everything. It's helped me get out of my comfort zone. It helped me a lot become the person I am today.
As Kids of the Community grew, its goal was to turn detention into prevention. It began to focus on the needs of each child, many of whom live below the poverty line and are missing many of the basic essentials.
You know, we're a small town. One of the first big events that we done, we were thinking about, we were going to actually ready to branch out, and start doing more. And so it was the Warren County A&L Fair. Who doesn't like the fair? So we decided we'd take several. So we went to just area businessmen and had them to sponsor a child for $25 that would get them, fed, and cotton candy and things of that nature. And I think that's really where I truly didn't understand, again, their need. We're trying to take them to the fair to have an appropriate leisure time activity. And back in those days, we got $5 a piece for them to spend on fair games. And immediately, several of the kids come up, but one I'll always remember came up and he said, "Mr. Berry, I have a question." And I said, "Well, what is it, son?" And he said, "Can I keep my $5 and take it home?" And I said, "Why?"
He said, my glasses are broken. And if I keep this money and I get some more, I can get a new pair of glasses. So even when we tried to reach out and give them a hand up into something, they were so attuned at 10 years old to a basic everyday need, they couldn't excel, they couldn't have fun. These children come here with some real problems. If you're the stinky kid because your clothes smell bad, nobody wants to sit by you in school. I have a solution for that. You know, I have a shower, I have new clothes, I have better clothes, I have laundry detergent you can take home. I have sponsors that will give you towels and washcloths, and we do a family basket at the end of the year just so that the kids will have access to laundry detergent and things of that nature. So we just do what a family does. We do care about them, we do love them, and if you think about it, it's just simple. We feed them, we clothe them, we love them, we teach them, so we're their family. And they know it's forever.
Accepting everyone, no matter what you are, how you are, if you're damaged, if you're not damaged. We don't care how other people think. When you come to our home, we love you as our own children.
Some of these kids that's been here for a long time, they know unequivocally that they are loved here and that needs will be met here. And if they need a friend, we're going to listen.
We're all a family here. We all kind of rely on each other and we're accountable to each other. So the counselors and the staff and all of the children, you know, they have a chance at doing something that's bigger than themselves, you know, just kind of growing as a community and just having, like I said, like a safe place for them to come and just learn and grow.
We talk to them about everything, relationships, what's appropriate to say, manners, promptness is a big thing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the...
They have learned respect. They've learned being honest and hardworking, and they've learned so much, and so many people are genuinely helping them, and they recognize that.
They learn team building, they learn life skills, they just learn stuff that's going to make them a more productive employee, a more productive mom, a more productive dad. You know, we talk a lot about families, and you know, if you don't like your particular situation as far as you don't like your dad, be a better one. You know, if you're blessed with children, if you don't like how mom handles things, think about that. What's mom doing wrong? What could I improve on once I get old enough to be a mom? And just really, that's, I think our vision here is just to try to make better people, just a day at a time.
Help each other. Help each other. Show respect. Show respect.
When we started, basically within 2 or 3 months, we were doing tutoring. And they would go around in their personal vehicles and pick up kids, and we would have them here in this office on Saturdays. And then they were so hungry they couldn't focus, and then we would talk to area businesses and try to get 6 to 8 free biscuits and things of that nature. And so then we found out that food insecurity was a major issue.
Over 200 children are enrolled in the Kids of the Community tuition-free program, and providing food year-round is one of the many services available at the center.
We have always cooked kind of like family-style meals. So we try to introduce them to new foods, healthy eating, fruit, you know, obviously watermelon and cantaloupe are a big thing, and just kind of let them choose and hopefully get better eating habits than they're accustomed to. They're having the eggs, I tell them these are eggs that some of the other kids brought from home. You know, they have a chicken coop.
Kids of the Community gives us food every day and it's really good.
I like the food. The food is amazing.
I have struggled with trying to cook for an army because that's basically what it is. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 130 to 150 souls on the property every day. The cost is astronomical. Just local gardeners, if they would bring us their extra tomatoes, extra squash. We're feeding these children 2 full meals a day while they're here during the summer.
We need volunteers to help with the food because sometimes there ain't enough. Sometimes we just eat all of it, so. And then we want more.
When I first started, I had never cooked. And I come in one morning and Barry said, I said, what do you need me to do today? And he said, I need you to cook. And I was like, okay. I didn't tell him I'd never done it before. And you've got this many kids to cook for, but I had watched the ladies and helped out in the kitchen. So I went to work and I said, is this all right? Well, yeah, why? I said, I've never done nothing like this before. And so as the kids were going through line and I was serving them, I go, remember, Miss Goof cooked with lots and lots of love this morning.
And lots of love is served up every day. Many of the children who come to Kids of the Community have difficulty reading, which is why there is a special emphasis on reading activities.
We want you to be able to read. We want you to be able to do math. We want you to be able to write a story.
During the school year, Kids of the Community offers homework help and insight into career choices.
When we do homework help, we try to do it individually. We have so many ranges because we may have from a 5-year-old to a 17-year-old. So that's why I try to bring in volunteers so that they get that one-to-one. It's not just about doing the homework. It's with a positive person that's a little older than them or maybe a lot older than them. Whatever they need, we're going to try to provide.
I had no clue what I wanted to be. And then we've had people come here and talk to us about what they've done. That's what got me thinking about what I want to do. I want to go and enlist into the United States Army and become an animal care specialist. I want to go to college to become a veterinarian and then open my own practice and help as many animals as I can. That's what I want to do. And this place helped me realize that.
Jamie, look at my fish!
Did you catch that?
Throughout the year, Kids of the Community offers a wide range of activities from adventures to learning experiences.
This is a millipede.
They can hurt you though.
Yes, yeah.
Wilderness Explore exposes the children to the great outdoors with fishing, hiking, kayaking, and swimming. These adventures often happen at Rock Island State Park, where rangers present lessons on science and ecology.
This 3-prong is very different.
Other activities offered at Kids of the Community include Master Chef, where children learn to cook, Mad Scientist, where they experiment with science projects, Future Designer, where they learn to make clothes, draw, and paint. Move It is a program that keeps the children active with music and dance. And everyone's favorite games, Gaga and Nukem. Service Mondays help instill a sense of community with an emphasis on projects that teach the spirit of volunteering and helping others.
So we've cleaned up trash pretty much all over the entire county. We go to nursing homes. They bring little art that they've made for them or play bingo, do things, paint nails. We've also, taken them on field trips. We try to expand their horizons right outside of just this county. Try to show them that there is more to the world. And so we've taken them, to do things in Nashville. We went to the Country Music Hall of Fame last year.
Every time I wake up, I just like that out of my bed, ready to go.
With children constantly outgrowing their clothes and shoes, Kids of the Community started a community room that accepts donations and offers the kids and their parents access to whatever they need for school or work.
Several times a month, the family can come in and they can pick out anything they want that they can use, because people bring in household items, utensils, and things that the family might be able to use in the home, bedding, and just anything they can use, they're free to take.
We have 2 freezers there, and then we have some chicken or beef, cheese, whatever we can get from Second Harvest, they're free to take. One wall full of, normally it's full of canned goods, so it's just a bonus for the families.
We have a lot of organizations in the community that usually help us. Rotary, Breakfast and Noon Rotary here in McMinnville does a lot for us. Dr. Pepper has done a lot for us over the years. Oster was a big supporter of ours for a really long time.
I've been a member of McMinnville Breakfast Rotary Club for many years. When I was president of the club, we had the honor of donating a brand new Ford van to Kids of the Community that's still in use today.
Through a piece of real estate that we foreclosed, and we got a realtor involved, and she had a vision of us giving that to Kids Community. And now they have a nicer facility to meet in. They've got a lot of room for storage, and then they've been able to acquire additional land over the years, and it's just led to a beautiful situation where the banks got involved, and we see what someone's vision has turned into.
Kids of the Community works, and we can talk about statistics all day long, but we know it works because the kids that are involved in Kids of the Community, you don't see them in juvenile court. They're making a positive impact in Warren County through service projects, helping others in the community. They're learning great things.
Some of the kids that would get in trouble a lot actually behave so much better, and I'm very proud of them.
So me and my mom really never got along. We wouldn't go and do anything together because we were always arguing. But then after I started coming here, my attitude started getting better. So as it got better, I got to do a lot more with my mom and go places.
We didn't try to do everything for them by any means, but we just tried to a step at a time, build a much more resilient child, wherein they would be a more responsible adult later in life.
I lived in the projects here in McMinnville. I lived on Hamilton Street. I stayed in the kids community until I was 18, the oldest you can stay in. And of course, I am one of the kids that did make it out. And with their help, I was able to accomplish so much. Like now I work at Amazon, been at Amazon for 10 years. So I just bought my own house and all this in my early 30s. So it's been a blessing for everything that they have done for me.
Got a kid that's mother was a drug addict. Come to homework help all the time because he wanted to do well in school and knew he wouldn't. I ran into him about 3 months ago at Big Lots, and he couldn't. He hollered at me and said, Miss Christie, and he hugged me and he said, guess what? And I said, what? He said, you know, you had those teachers help me get to Auto Diesel College. He said, I'd been driving for somebody else. He said, I've saved my money and I bought my first 18-wheeler and I'm going out on my own.
That's the passion that the people involved, they see these kids grow exponentially on a daily basis. They get excited about their schoolwork, where before they were just trying to get by. Now they're excited about their grades, they want to show them to people, they want to succeed, and that's going to stay within that kid's heart for the rest of their life.
This is like an ongoing program, you know, it's not a one-time thing. We've run the summer program for 13 summers, the Kids of the Community program for 25 years, you know, so this isn't just a one-time deal or even just like a week-long thing. You know, this is every year, all year. We're doing stuff with the kids all year long to try to, you know, make their lives better. So we just constantly are in need of funds. You know, it's great if somebody gives us a one-time donation, but, you know, those people that keep showing up month after month, year after year, it's really been amazing and a blessing for what they've done for us.
The things that we need are your time. If you can come on a Saturday while you're waiting on some other event, sit and drink coffee and just talk to the child and interact with the child, you're of assistance to us. We have a lot of males here that have never been around a positive male influence, and they're in dire need of that. So we need your time. The other thing that you might have is you might have a particular talent. You might be an artist, and you might be musical. You might be a scratch gardener. You know, you may be the best gardener around and have the green thumbs, and you can assist us with gardening. Lastly, I love this place. You know, I absolutely adore these children. But the most important thing about this operation is the donors. If we don't have any money, you know, I can't pay the electric bill. I can't pay the utilities. I can't pay the insurance. So your treasure is of great value to us.
If your organization would like to sponsor a project for kids of the community, or if you would like to volunteer, or if you would like to make a donation to keep this amazing program open, please contact us.
I love this place so much, and this is why we need these donations. People who are out there who really want to help us, please try y'all's best.